off. Oh, jeez. I need a beer. Gosh. All right, so here we are. What I'm doing is I'm going to start making the poaching liquid that I was telling you all about in that last video. Okay, a little water, a little beer. That looks like what I ended up with. It seemed like I said I may do one or the other, so I'm sometimes just as clueless as you. So, little water, little beer. Here's more of that butt rub right there that you saw whenever I was slapping and pounding the meat around. So, anyway, get you a little bit of some kind of seasoning there, a bunch more brown sugar. I probably even put some barbecue sauce in this. If I didn't, I'm going to say, why don't you? But we'll see what happens here. So anyway, up on a high heat, you're going to make some poaching liquid, and what we're going to be doing is getting this ready to poach the burgers in that we cooked out on the grill. So a little more water. You got to have enough to immerse all of them. You can either do it in a pot on top of the stove, or just whatever you got. I end up putting them in a great old big pan that I can put in the oven, because I need to have the stove top to do a few other things, because other than poaching oh yeah, there we go, barbecue sauce. So here we go. I got some kind of bourbon barbecue that helps sweeten everything up. Anyway, you're just going to be making up something nice and sweet to poach the burgers in and help enhance the flavor of the grilling. It also it just makes them moist in a different way than a fresh grilled burger. And if you can't just serve everybody right straight at once off of the grill, then this is the next best thing, because there's not hardly any kind of an in-between for the burger. You either got to come off the grill with it and eat it, or either you need to do something else. So I'm serving these later on tonight for the guys at a poker game, so that's how I resolved it. I just poach them, and it keeps them right until I'm ready to serve them. So what I'm doing now is getting the rest of the toppings ready for the burger, because there's a little more to it than poaching it. This is a whole assembly of things that ends up making a real good burger. You're going to want to go get yourself an onion bun. I serve these on a toasted onion bun with caramelized onions. So what I'm doing here is just chopping up a whole dang bunch of onions and putting them in a dry pan. There's no oil, no butter. And get your fingers down in there with it if you're tough like I do. Oh, well, I'm a sissy. I turned it on low, but it's still pretty hot. Anyway, so what I do is I put all the onions in the pan without any oil at all. That helps toast them off and grill them, gets you a good base going in that pan for when you do add the butter. And it keeps your butter from scorching too, because it don't taste right if you put it in there first. You don't get the same thing as what you get. Hey, wow, the grill. All right, somehow by television magic, I'm grilling a burger. All right, back to the boiling liquid and a different eye on the stove. Turn it up, turn it down. All right, now move it over here to this one. It seems like it's just gonna work way better. Get your burgers off the grill. Don't they look good? That's the burgers after I've grilled them with the dry rub on them. Try not to burn them up like I did a couple of those, but it don't matter if you did, because you're putting them into a poaching liquid. So anyway, and that's the other reason too why you want to form this this donut-shaped burger, because it makes a nice well down in the burger for you to put all of this stuff into it. You're going to put the caramelized onions, you're going to put cheddar cheese, you're going to put bacon, you're going to put some barbecue sauce on it. That's after it comes out of the poaching liquid, after you've poached it for 2 hours. You can do all that at once. you guys, man, you can use a spatula if you want to. That's just one more thing you got to wash. Maybe I washed my hands. On camera or off camera, I don't know. We'll watch and see. Anyway, it's a really, really hot pan. I just add some more onions after I add the butter. That just kind of helps get a whole bunch of different texture. And it's a lot of onions. You just can't do that to all of them, or I didn't. So anyway, you're going to caramelize your onions because that's going to be a topping for the burger. And a lot of people just don't know how to caramelize an onion. After I've browned a bunch of them off, I add a bunch of butter. I turn the heat down and I let it simmer. Big thing is you don't want to burn your butter, but you do want to have the pan hot with the onions so you get a better flavor and it gets a little darker and it comes that thing that you want to have, something sweet to put in your mouth along with that meat that you're going to eat. Burgers. So anyway, I go ahead and I turn these things upside down or right side up, depending on which one of us you are, on top or the bottom. So anyway, got that little well going on inside the burger. That's where I'm going to lay the onions in whenever I finish up, because I'll pour this liquid on them and it'll nearly cover them up. Then later on I can drop the onions, the cheese, and the bacon and the barbecue sauce on top of them, and I can jack the heat up in the oven and it'll melt that cheese into it. Then you put it on the toasted onion bun and you're pretty much ready to serve your burger. So anyway, over here on the one side off camera, there's the liquid with the beer and the water boiling away. Over here's my onions. You can see them browning up. I did have to get a spatula. I ain't so tough. After the butter goes in, that stuff will stick to your hands and it'll start burning. Then just pour the boiling liquid over your burgers. If you grilled them good, all of your dry seasonings was going to stick to them when you put them on the grill, so you ain't going to wash your stuff off. And then what I do is I put these in the oven and let them poach in the oven again, because I needed the stove top and needed to have them spread out so I could put the topping on them and get them all served at once for all the guys so they could put my meat in their mouth at the poker game tonight. That's what all of this is about. If there wasn't any way that I could serve my friends better by putting my meat in their mouth with a little onions on it and some sauce, then that's what I'm going to do. And believe me, I had a lot of happy fellas that night. Maybe we could get them later on to tell you just how great it was, but I know what they said that night about it. Couldn't stop smacking their lips and chomping down on it. All right, goodbye burgers for a little while. Just pretend I'm Mexican and you'll know what I'm talking about when I say burger. Meat. Yep. Some kind of fancy fiesta burger, I think, but we had a great time at the poker game. As I told you, it was pay-forward poker where we all put money in the pot. Whoever loses has to cook for everybody else. You know, so we can do whatever we want to. You know, I put fish in their mouth sometimes. You know, it just depends on what I'm cooking up. But fish is meat too, kind of like a mermaid of the sea. Anyhow, what I'm doing right now is I'm getting the bacon together. I'm double stacking it so it don't burn the crap up when you put it in the oven. But anyway, I bake mine. You can do however you want to with your bacon, as long as you get some cooked bacon put on top of the burger. The oven just does it a lot neater, and when you got a whole bunch of stuff to cook for hungry men who want meat in their mouth and will eat pretty much anything if you put some bacon on it. Yep, there we go. I wiped some of that grease off of my hands. I ain't gonna lube nothing up. So anyway, put it in the oven, bake it up, and you'll have some bacon for your burger. Back to the onions, just stirring them around again. I'm doing the same thing on the other half of that pan as what's happening on this side. What's going on is that camera's up in my hair and it's starting to fall down after all of this cooking. Oh, hamburger, whoa, that is not mine. You just have to think about what mine looks like, because you know what? the guys ate every one of them and wouldn't let me take a picture. So we got these pictures for you of something else, which is not mine. Just dream of what it is. Imagine my meat in your mouth.